Hello Chingus! So today we're going to be continuing our EPIK series and we're going to be discussing before moving to Korea the documents you should have ready.
Right. So there's a lot of documents.
Yeah, there's a lot of documents. So just make sure you have everything before you come here. Some of these you can't come to Korea without them.
Yeah.
Like, for example, number one, your passport. Please make sure you have a valid passport. And
very important.
Yeah, very important. Can't get on the flight. Also make sure that the expiration date is it coming up. So that's really important for getting your visa, but also just when you're in Korea, you're going to have some vacation time. You probably want to travel to other countries while you're here, and you can't do that if your passport's expired. And it's a serious pain to get your passport renewed here because there's only one consulate, and it's in Seoul by the Palace, Gyeongbokgung Palace, and they're only open during the weekdays, and the hours are very limited. And they're also closed on all holidays, like all Korean holidays, and on top of that, all US holidays. So it's really, really difficult. Yeah. So most likely you will have to take an early leave from school, and that gets deducted from your vacation days.
EPIK has like a cutoff date for your expiration, and they'll tell you that, but just make sure.
Yeah. So if you do not have a passport, definitely get on that right now.
Right here, right now. Alright, cool. Right here, right now.
Yeah, like 2 days ago. And normal expedition is 2 to 8 weeks, depending on where you live and how you send it in. But you can do it right at the post office, and you can fill out some forms online and print those out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, and then so once you have your passport and you're accepted into EPIK, then you'll have to apply for a visa. And you have to have your visa. You have to wait to get your visa because EPIK has to send you all of the documents for you to actually apply for your visa. So it's very like last minute, and you have to do it very quickly. So like, for example, I only had like 3 weeks, I think, before I had to leave for Korea, and then I was like applying for my visa in 3 weeks, and it was very...
She's like, I don't get to go.
Yeah, it was very stressful.
It's super stressful. Literally the last month of EPIK is, I think, the most stressful. Because even though you know you got into the program, you have to send in your documents, get back more documents. It's a long waiting game. And in the meantime, you should be booking your ticket. But you're booking your ticket not having your visa, but you don't want to book your ticket too late because it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's just really stressful.
So just, be mentally prepared that that's going to happen to you.
Yeah, and again, we're Americans, so I only really know about the American process. Each region has like a certain city that you have to send documents to, like the consulate to get your visa. So like I had to send mine to Atlanta, and I couldn't just go to Atlanta, so I had to mail my passport to them. And so then I was even more stressed out because I was like, what if they lose my passport? Like I don't have time to like get a new one.
I would say anytime you send your passport in the mail, definitely just bite the cost and get the ones with the tracking number.
Yeah.
Get the expedited shipping, like the fastest one they have at the UPS. I honestly forget what that is. And then also with the tracking number.
Yeah, with
the best thing, honestly, the best situation is if you live close enough to a consulate that you can just go visit. So like I live in New York, so I just walk to my consulate. Because the thought of mailing my passport gives me like...
It's scary.
Like shakes.
Yeah, it's scary. And really that's where a lot of the costs come in during like the last few months of applying for EPIK, because you have to mail so many things and you want them to be like fast but also like protected with tracking, so that costs money.
Right. Yeah, I think mailing my documents to Korea was almost $100.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did like most expedited and tracking. Well, it comes with tracking, but because you're mailing it to Korea, it does cost a lot of money. Number 3, book your flight. So EPIK gives you a certain reimbursement amount. I want to say it's $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember.
Maybe, I think it's $1,200.
$1,200, somewhere between $1,000 to $1,200. It's on the website, so you can see it.
But everyone gets it.
Everyone gets it. So, but also prices fluctuate, and depending on where you are, they could fluctuate by a lot more than $1,200. And obviously, the key window of booking any flight is about 3 months ahead, and you won't have that window with EPIK just because you don't find out your placements until much later, and then you're waiting for your documents.
Orientation starts.
Yeah, or even like the right date to go for orientation. So prices could be really expensive. Also, really important to note is that they do reimburse you. They absolutely will, but it's not going to be right away.
Yeah. So
it's most likely going to be your first paycheck, which is about like a month or 2 after you come into Korea. Just get ready, like that won't be in your bank account.
Yeah, and you have to wait at least a month.
Yeah. And then also, if you're in Busan, it's 6 months. So you won't actually get it till half a year into while you're here. I'd also like to point out, because you are getting paid, you're getting the reimbursement through your public school. So when you get that reimbursement, it's technically a little, you're going to eat a little bit of it because you're going to have to transfer the money back home in order to, I'm assuming you're paying a credit card or something.
If not, it just goes in your bank account here.
Yeah, it goes into your Korean bank account, which you will set up here.
And also, it's like, it's a set amount of money. So like, it doesn't matter if you spent more than $1,200 on your plane ticket or less, you still just get the money they give you.
Yeah, so it's ideal if you buy a plane ticket for less.
For less, then you like make some money. But they don't care if you spent more money, and it's not a full reimbursement.
Yeah, and a lot of people fly in a few days earlier too, if that's like an option you're thinking about. So it doesn't have to be exactly like on the right date of orientation. If you want to come in a little earlier because you're saving a little bit of money, or just like trying to save yourself from jet lag.
I would recommend it, actually. I came in 2 days early. Yeah, 2 days early. And I was able to like rest and then get over jet lag. And then I also like explored a little in Busan. So it was nice.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that more in our orientation video. Oh, speaking of which, do the pre-orientation. Do your pre-orientation.
It's just like videos online, and then there's like a little quiz after each one.
Yeah, so
but you have to do it.
You have to do it. They do check at orientation. They ask you to write down your confirmation code. If you didn't do it, you're just gonna have to do it while at orientation, which would be terrible because you're there to have a good time and like, you know, meet some friends and stuff. And you don't want to sit. Also, internet is shoddy at orientation. More about that later. But yeah, you don't want to be sitting and trying to like do your pre-orientation. It's a few hours. It's a few painful hours, but
just do it.
Just do it.
Next, I would recommend, before you come to Korea, learn some Korean. Maybe some like phrases like hello, thank you, bye, please. And also, so you're polite. And then also, they have a different alphabet, so learn some Hangul. It's actually pretty easy to learn Hangul. Maybe it'll take you like a couple days to like master it. There's only like so many letters, and each letter has like a specific sound. And then that'll really help once you get here, because I mean, there is English some places, but
sometimes even like coffee shops, the menu's not in English, so you have to read like coffee, but not coffee in English.
If you don't know Korean words, if you can read the alphabet, like chicken here, if you know the letters, you can sound it out, and it says chicken, but it's in Korean. Or like coffee, it's coffee, but then you're like, oh, it's coffee. So it helps.
Yeah, it's really helpful, I think. Also, a lot of your co-teachers might not necessarily speak very good English, so just introducing yourself to the principal or to the teachers at school. We know people here who have survived without learning any Korean, but I think it makes your life just 10 times more difficult than it has to, especially because it's really not that hard.
Yeah, it's not hard to learn Hangul.
Yeah, and like if you know a few keywords of survival, I think you're like pretty good. So even if you don't ever master Korean, I think you'll be in a good place. On top of that, definitely do some research on Korean culture, keep up with the news. There is a lot going on right now.
Yeah, a lot happening.
Just so much stuff happening politically, economically here, culturally. I don't know if you've heard of the recent presidential scandals here. The elections are actually coming up in May. Definitely read up about it, because obviously you're living here, so you want to be in tune with what's going on. And look into things outside of bibimbap. We love bibimbap, it's delicious, but there's other foods here. They have so much to offer, honestly, and I hope you guys like rice cakes, because you're going to eat a lot of those.
All the time.
All the time. For some reason I get them, and I don't even know why. Like, I'm not sure what the occasion is, but I get them a lot.
At school, it's like always rice cakes.
Yeah, always rice cakes all the time. But yeah, there's other foods like Chen, kalbitang, hot dog, 볶음밥, samgyeopsal. It's like the big one. Samgyeopsal. Which is basically just like fatty bacon. We eat it all the time.
It's good.
Yeah, and then even if you don't like K-pop, you should at least learn the names of the really popular bands here, because most likely you're teaching elementary school or middle school kids, and they love it.
Yeah, they love it. And then they'll think you're really cool.
Yeah, they're gonna think you're so cool if you know the groups, and then also if you just pick remember one person from the group and pretend that's your favorite person, the kids will be like, oh. Yeah, they'll think you're really cool. you might be into like TV shows here, so like a lot of varieties and dramas. Those are really helpful in terms of learning Korean, especially the ones with like kids. So there's a really popular show here called Return of Superman, where the stars are children, and like the level of Korean is obviously much lower because they're kids, so it might be easier to pick up. And there are websites where you can read it with English subtitles, so that's always really helpful.
And lastly, there's a form you can fill out to prove that you will be living in a foreign country for like the next year. So then you won't be taxed in your home country and in Korea. And everyone can apply for it except for people from Canada. So sorry, Canada. But it was really easy to fill out. You just go to like your government's tax site. So in the US, it's the IRS.
Yeah. And it's form 6166.
Yeah.
And it just says certificate of tax residency. And that way you're exempted from taxes for 2 years.
For 2 years, yeah. But it's only for public school teachers. So if you work in a Hagwon or in an after-school program, then you can't
apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, the tax isn't super high here. It's just, you know, it's if you can get out of it, why not? But yeah, you basically send in a form, and then when I got it back, I was like, I wasn't sure I sent them the correct document because it literally is just a paper that comes back to you and it just says, like, your name is a residency of the United States or something.
Yeah, like that's literally it.
Like the one sentence. And I was like,
yeah.
I don't know.
You'll bring that with you to Korea. And usually your co-teacher will like already know about it, and so you can just tell them and either give it to them and they'll take it to the Korean tax office, or you can give it to your administrative office at school and they'll take care of it.
Yeah. So don't like go to orientation with EPIK and be like, here's my form. They're be like, no, we don't want this. So just wait till you get to your school. But yeah, you should send that in before you get here. I forgot how long it took me.
Mine took like a month to get back, so yeah, you should send it in 1 to 2 months before you come to Korea. So because they have to mail it back, a form back to you, and it's like the government, so they take forever to send stuff.
Yeah, so just get that in. All right, guys, those are our tips for documents to have before moving to Korea. I hope this was helpful. Let us know if you have any more questions. We're here to help. And in the meantime, don't forget to
like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.